Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our another discussion on some subject which time to time can become quite burning subject, and the current subject has come up due to some articles in the last 10 or 15 days has started coming up in our local national paper, New Zealand Herald. I hope many of you must have also read, and those articles are in relation to women's suffering. Various stories has published in those articles about various young women, young girls, and some mature girls also, female, about the problem what they have faced and are facing, and how our current medical system is adding to their miseries, and how our current medical system has no response, no answer, or whatever the answers are there, how that impact not only those young girls or teen but the families around them. And the problem and the stories what we all have read relate with either their endometriosis, infertility, dysmenorrheas, PMS issues, and how their problem has been with them for such a long time that it become natural for them. They all are feeling that this is something we were expecting, that we might have to live with it, or this is the only solution we have. It's very sad to read all those stories, and but the most saddest part of this whole subject is that in spite of having these articles and the stories of those women, whoever has written those stories with so much effort has never ever given any solution apart from just highlighting what those young girls, what those women are facing and what they have faced, how they are living now. No one has given them, no one has ever even put in a few lines in those all stories that if our medical system is making their life miserable, then what are the options for them? Why those women or future women, because it's not the end, just that those stories has come up in Herald now, and it means that is the end of miseries of women. No, it has been there always, in the past also, and it is going to be still there, and many thousands and thousands and thousands of the young girls and the women are suffering from these all problems, whether we relate with the endometriosis or PMS issues or dysmenorrheas or menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, you name it, and all those problems are there, which sadly all these women are thinking that that's a normal part and parcel of our life, and that is how we have to live with it. And the reason of me bringing up this subject to discuss, from this platform I also want to appeal to all our clients who at Planet Ayurveda are coming and seeking some kind of support and advice from this ancient system of medicine, because I feel many of our clients who come and get treatments at Planet Ayurveda, they are quite influential in the society, in our community, and they should take some active role to let this problem to be taken at that level where through their effort we can request to the authorities that yes, paper, New Zealand Herald or anyone, they have done their part. What they have done is they have created an awareness that these are the problems happening. But by creating awareness is of no use if there is no option for them. And that's what I would like to talk about and request to all those, that they should somehow tell these people who write these articles that they must look at that, okay, medical system has its own place. We never question that. Medical system help them. And when now a woman is suffering in such a way that they have no other option but to go for hysterectomy, and the surgeon do that, and surgeon does their job effectively. But then the issue is why we let them reach to that stage, why it cannot be looked into out of that mainstream box. Why not these all editors and other influential people, politicians, take up a matter that now is there any options available out in the market? Are there systems? And again, not to be biased that I practice Ayurveda. Ayurvedic science has been there for thousands of years, and the subject and the focus of this science is now becoming the core part of our society in many countries, where people are coming forward and taking the lead to follow Ayurvedic approaches for various kind of health problem, including these women's issues. In New Zealand also we see people are open, but still we are very far back from the rest of the world to look at these options, what we call here as a complementary medicine or alternative system. This is not the alternative system. This has been the main system for well-being for thousands of years ago, and it has been even through that phase, even in spite of how it has been ignored and pressed all over by the mainstream. So question is, if that articles has come, one need to look at the pain and misery those women are going, those who have been brave to share their stories, and this is a lesson for young girl or future those women who are suffering from these problems. But what this article again said, nothing. And that's where I'm trying to share here through this platform, that those women who are suffering and are going through the same phase, what those stories are telling about their issues, whether it is endometriosis, whether it is some other problems related with the woman's monthly cycle, they don't need to suffer. Reason is, there is our option, and they all need to understand that why these problems comes up at a first place. When we talk about a woman's cycle and the show they have for 3 to 5 days, which we call as their menstruation period. Now in that, when they having pain, which is what we call as PMS syndrome, or some different kind of symptoms which they, or the different level and the strength or intensity of those symptoms come up, they don't need to just live with the painkillers, or then otherwise they start taking pills to suppress their period. That is the start of their problem, which they might have to suffer in the future. Any woman who might be listening to this message, and if she is suffering from an endometriosis, she need to look at her history. This problem has not come overnight. She has been suffering from some kind of either irregular period, pain